Good morning from the office, North Georgia's only live online morning show. I am your host, BKP. Sorry, let me turn this volume down. I'm your host, BKP. Just not enough time. I know what you're saying. If I would just hush and move on, there would be more time. But I know I get stuck on some subjects, but gosh, I can't stand CNN. Let's go to, give me Bruce and Nellie one more time. It's shocking how networks totally pass by. We're on the edge of scary, and maybe we're not on the edge, it's just downright scary. To me, it is shocking. I understand that the battle has to be won in the next 90 days or whatever at the ballot box. We must win the battle. And when we win the battle, you know, there's the war. Then we must demand our elected officials take it to the war level. Now, I know Trump said last night there's violence. Folks, if you go on a daily basis and search the left, you will find their violence on a daily basis. Daily basis, their violence, okay? Now, we've chosen not to burn down cars, tip over police cars, and jump up and down on them with bullhorns, screaming and yelling, burn this mother down. We've chosen not to do that, okay? But the left chooses violence every single day. But the war, we have to win the battle in November, and we must go to war. Justice Department official Bruce Ohr told House lawmakers on Tuesday that the FBI doubted the credibility of the salacious anti-Trump dossier used to obtain surveillance warrants for a member of Donald Trump's presidential campaign team, according to key Republicans. You will hear the media refute wiretapping Trump Tower because, you know, what is the old alligator clips that, you know, they want you to think that Trump's talking about going down in the communications downstairs and putting the old alligator clips on the wires and listening. That's not the way they do it anymore, okay? There's something they can get when they come by your phone. They can clone your phone. You know, they could crack into things and have your email duplicated right to them. So wiretapping is just an old phrase that you and I think of in the movies, and that's what Trump used. But the truth is, Trump Tower was wiretapped in a modern sense. Second, spy or spies in the Trump campaign. We know it's true, okay? We know that the Justice Department, remember Loretta Lynch. Now, I hear Jeff Sessions all the time and fire Jeff Sessions. I wish I heard Loretta Lynch's name one time for every 3 times I hear Jeff Sessions, and I could be happy with an Eric Holder of the criminals that had control of the Department of Justice for the last 8 years. Okay? And this is not a pro-Jeff Sessions comment. I just wish, you know, we could look a little deeper into that den of corruption in the Justice Department and the FBI at the lower, at some of these levels. Not only did the FBI know the dossier was unverified, but they also knew there were real credibility issues where it would never end up in courtroom, said Mark Meadows, North Carolina Republican. The disclosure is the latest twist in the complicated saga of Mr. Ohr, a career Justice Department official with close ties to those responsible for creating and disseminating the dossier full of unproven allegations about President Trump's ties to Russia. We know it's false. We know it's lies. We know it's unsubstantiated. But our highest runs of authority at the Justice Department and the FBI corroborated to go to our courts, the FISA courts, set up to get these FISA warrants. Ties to Russia. Mr. Ohr, nearly a 30-year veteran of the Justice Department, had a long-time relationship with British spy Christopher Steele, who created the curriculum, the dossier. Created and circulated the dossier. His wife, Nellie Ohr, is an employee of Fusion GPS, the firm that was paid by Hillary Clinton's campaign and Democrat National Committee to compile the dossier, to compile the pile of. Republicans have said that Mr. Ohr gave the dossier to the FBI, which it used to obtain Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, or FISA, warrant on Carter Page, a key Trump campaign ad. When the dossier was given to the FBI, Mr. Ohr was head of the Justice Department Organized Crime and Drug Task Force and passed it along. Would have fallen outside his job responsibilities. So you got this guy in the Justice Department. He's involved in the Organized Crime and Drug Task Force. Hey, Bruce, are you going down past so and so's office yet? Can you drop this dossier off on your way to the organized crime meeting of the day? Sure, I'll drop it off. I'm going by there. Nellie, Bruce, you're going in the office. Are you going by so-and-so's office? Can you drop this on this day? Sure, I'm going in. What the hell? And no reporting. 1 solid hour, not one word. 1 solid hour, not one word on MSNBC this morning. Not one word on CNN. Not one word. Crickets. The most corrupt. This is the most corrupt scandal in the history of our country. Now, I for one, want you to email me or text me and tell me of another. You know, every day we've had to hear the liberal media tell us that something was going on that was going to crumble the pillars of our democracy. As Trump says this, the pillars of our democracy are crumbling right before our eyes. That's all we hear. But yet, that's all we hear. But yet, never. This is actually real stuff trying to take down our government. Anyhow. Not a word. Not the first peep out of anybody. Yesterday, let's go to Arizona Republicans. Okay? Arizona Republicans. I can't see across the room. Is that it? Arizona Republican? Okay. I don't have my glasses, so it's not that I think you have it wrong. Martha McSally. You got 52% of the vote. Kelly Ward, 28%, and Sheriff Joe, 19.5%. So Martha McSally will represent, and somebody will be the first woman senator from the state of Arizona, Martha McSally. You know, I'm okay, but they keep saying McSally, and I keep thinking that's something I want to order when I get to McDonald's. I mean, I don't know. Am I wrong? I mean, I know that was silly, but I keep hearing McSally. Okay? I'll have a McSally with the ranch dressing. I'm sorry. I know that wasn't funny, but moving right along, McSally, a lot being said about her being the most moderate candidate in that race, but and wanting her to look and act like Jeff Flake, but that was not the first that MSNBC did. Let's go to Arizona Dems, and we'll look at that one really quick. Go to Arizona Dems, and My picture's not coming up as fast. Arizona Democrat primary, Kristen Kristen Synonym, 81% of the vote there. She will be running against McSally. So that one will be one to watch out in Arizona. But here is where they're going to pour their money into, and that is Florida. So let's go to Florida's governor's race. Florida governor race there. 34%, as we showed you earlier. That's the governor. Florida, yeah, thank you. 34%. Gilliam with 517,000. Now he is a Bernie Sanders. The MSNBC and CNN. CNN opened with this, okay? And MSNBC. Now here's the interesting thing, okay? MSNBC eventually said it, and I'll tell you in a minute. They eventually said it, MSNBC did. It never crossed the lips of CNN. And I'll tell you in a minute. CNN opened with this right here. So did MSNBC. Gilliam. First thing out of the box at 5 a.m. CNN with their headline. Big news coming out of Florida last night. Gilliam, the black mayor. This is what the black mayor from Tallahassee, Gilliam, will be the Democrat candidate for governor in Florida. I mean, this was the top news right here. Okay, CNN. And so was MSNBC. Now, let's go to, he will be running against Florida governor. Let's put up the Florida governor one right now. And he will be running against Ron DeSantis, 56%. Okay, he is a congressman going to be running for governor. And Putnam. Now, Putnam was in the lead in Florida. I think he's the agriculture commissioner, okay? 36%. He was in the lead. In the past, he's not been very nice to the President of the United States, okay? And so last night, President Trump racked up another list of endorsed candidates that won. Oh, he's stacking them right up. Now, I will tell you this. If the Republicans retain the House, they have no choice but to say, thank you, Mr. President. Okay? Senate, governor. If Trump hits 75% of his endorsements, Republicans are in great shape. Putnam was leading in this race, in this primary race. He was leading the race. Trump endorsed DeSantis, and boom, he took off. I mean, Putnam had, at one time, DeSantis, I think, by 15% as a lead. Trump endorsed DeSantis, DeSantis over Putnam. He took off. Now, CNN never called one of the Republican winners, never mentioned they were endorsed by Trump. I listened for a solid hour from 5 to 6. Now, they may do it today, but here's the reason I bring that up. In the morning, they're supposed to be just news hour. Okay? CNN from 5 to 6, early start with whoever, is not supposed to be their primetime opinion show. It's supposed to be a news hour. Fox is supposed to have a news hour. CNN went through an hour and never mentioned that any of these candidates were endorsed by Donald Trump. Not one. DeSantis is running against, see, I can't get it out of my head because CNN and MSNBC, the black guy from Tallahassee, Bernie Sanders candidate. But what did MSNBC do? They immediately come out and started talking about the black candidate in Georgia and the black candidate in Florida. I got to take a brief break. We'll come back, and then we'll have about 5 or 6 minutes to wrap up the show with one or two other things. We'll be back right after these messages.